Hey everybody, this is Blue, and I wanted to do a little game designing video. I had this thought last night while I was at work, and I decided that yes, this deserves a video. We sometimes forget about perspective in the game. We think because we are human and our normal size, we think at that scale. And sometimes what we face in an encounter is not on that scale. Now we all automatically are thinking large. What's larger than us? A dragon. Oh my gosh, there's a fire dragon in front of us. We must prepare for battle. But what if it's something completely different? So instead of a dragon, what if you're facing a hoarding shrew? And that's a hoarding shrew. Now, this is a small creature, and instead of something huge, what if there's many small? How do you handle that? Yeah. The hoarding shrew is 6-inch long, carnivore cannibalistic shrew that hunts in packs. Packs are up to 100 shrews total. Most areas can't support larger packs, forcing shrews into cannibalism to survive. They are fast and able to jump 3 feet high. The horde jumps on its victim and delivers many small bites. If the victim is unable to outrun or kill off the horde, the victim bleeds to death. So, it's not just one attack, there's many attacks. And it can be just as deadly as a grizzly bear. Okay? So how do you handle it? Do you treat this as, since a pack can be up to 100 usually, do you treat this as 100 small attacks or just one larger attack? Now, if you do the 100 smaller attacks, which I would advise not doing, that's going to be a lot of dice rolls. And then you got to go, okay, we're on up to shrew number 43. Roll those dice. And that could take time. That could literally add an hour to your combat over something so, in some ways minor, and in some ways major. And that would take away from the game. So I would advise a different approach. And that is to treat it as one large attack. What you do is you give each shrew a value of 1 offensive bonus and 1 hit each. And so the size of the horde determines its offensive bonus and how many hits it takes to kill it. So 100 shrew horde would have 100 bite offensive bonus and then 100 hits to kill. Then the other thing you got to remember is that since this is a small thing and it's jumping on you or your party, you can't just go, I'm going to take my mace and kill him. No, you have to restrict what type of attacks you can do. Now, there might be some magic that you can do, yes, but you're going to have to use brawling or unarmed combats. This could be stomping, kicking, brushing them off of you and your party. Okay? So there's several ways you can do it, but you just can't go, I'm going to go cast Firebolt on them, even though they're jumping on Ben the Hobbit. Okay? Got to always think things out. And, if somebody was dumb enough to do the Firebolt while they're jumping on Ben the Hobbit, make sure that Ben the Hobbit also takes damage. It could also kill Ben the Hobbit because the person with the happy Firebolts did not think it through. So, as you're doing your battle, and you're brushing them off, stomping on them, kicking them, whatever means you're doing it, each point of damage you deliver to the horde kills 1 shrew. So if you do a 12D attack, that would kill 12 shrews off the initial attack. And so the next round there would only be 88 shrews. and thus their biting offensive bonus would be reduced to 88 to where it was 100. And so then it would be, you would last longer against the smaller amount. And then you also got to remember, since you got that D critical, the damage the critical delivers also kills off more shrews. And so you could have had a small critical and it said, 3 more points damage. Well, you killed 3 more shrews. You're down to 85. And also you could be lucky. You could have rolled a 99 and it would have said something along the lines of, foe dies instantly. Because you are treating this as one group, one entity, because the shrews are working together for a common goal, so then you treat them as one entity. And so if your critical says instant kill, they're dead, you kill them all. And so you have dramatically reduced the time it takes for combat. And you added, I believe, an extra level to the game. And always remember, do the world a favor and kill all hoarding shrews. They have killed entire Fey villages. Now, this is also important because, like I was saying, this is about perspective. We think in our scale, we sometimes forget to think small scale. So here's a little comparison chart for you to look at real quickly. Now, as you can see in the background, we got the big dragon. Yeah, blue night drake. Beautiful creatures, yes. But then you can also see in that picture that I got 2 of the hoarding shrews. Look how small they are to the dragon. So to the dragon, they're nothing. He can just simply stomp on them and kill them off easily, right? Then we have a human, okay? He's still pretty darn big because since they're only 6 inches long, they're probably like 2 or 3 inches tall, at the shoulders on them. And so, yes, the human should be able to kick, brush off, stomp on them, and he'll get a few bites, but he should be fine, right? Next up, we have a hobbit, a halfling. And, it's smaller, and so in scale, that hoarding shrew is all of a sudden just a little bit bigger, a little bit more dangerous. Those shrews should be able to cover him a lot faster, and so that halfling needs to, watch out for them pretty seriously. But the scale gets worse. Now, in some groups in your role playing, they allow fairies or magical creatures. And some of these, like in my world, the pixies and most of the fae, winged fae, they're only a foot to 1.5 feet tall, because they got their wings, they fly around and all that. And so the hoarding shrew is considerably on scale, closer scale to them. So that would be like having a pack of dogs coming at you, okay? And then the last figure, you could probably see that little white figure. In Rollmaster, they have a race called Minos. These are only 6 inches tall. They're magical and all, but if you allow that in your game, you need to think about that perspective as well. Because, when you get closer to scale, you're dealing with this. So you are having 100 hoarding shrews, which are basically the same size of like Minos, of these small creatures. And could you imagine how horrible that would be? That would be like for us humans, imagining a pack of dire wolves coming at us. 100 dire wolves coming at us. And I mean, we're pulling out swords and all that. We are going to do everything we can to protect ourselves, right? It'd be horrifying if we saw that, all those dire wolves. Well, perspective-wise, we have to remember that to a pixie, a hoarding shrew is scary as well. and we have to incorporate that into our game. And so I would highly advise, if you are going to be designing a game or be a GM, allow some smaller species into your game so that you can add this little flair, because shrews can climb. Okay, so could you imagine, now this is just a scenario for you, your group, which has pixies in it, is in a wooded area, and on the ground, a couple of humans say, wonder what that is over there. And the pixie sees hoarding shrews, 50 of them, charging. She is scared because they can climb trees. And she sees some going up the trees, and she is going to be frantic because she knows that if they jump on her, they will kill her. It would not be much of a contest. So she is screaming. She needs to get out of the wooded area. Get me inside. If they got like a carriage, maybe she wants to be inside there, because then at least they can't get to her. Okay? So adding perspective to your game will make your game better. It is a great way to turn a low roll on an encounter table into something that needs to be dealt with and can add drama to the game. Because now if you look at that picture again, just think about it. If that one hoarding shrew bit the pixie's arm, how massive of a wound that would be in scale. Like I said, for us it'd be like a little sore. I don't know if you can see this right there. That's what it'd be to us on our scale, but to that pixie, she could have had her arm amputated. And so this is something to think about when you are working on your game, adding a little bit of flavor, perspective, and scale, and in combat. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave your comments down below, and everybody take care. Be at peace.